Hey guys, it's Danny. Today we're going to take a look at the orchids that we potted in perlite as part of our alternative potting mix solutions experiments since the sphagnum moss is running out. Well, I have an update on that, but let's focus. This is, I think, the fifth time that I'm trying to record this video. I cannot concentrate on this subject for whatever reason, and I digress and I make tangents. Anyway, focus. Right, so last time I was telling you that my sphagnum moss supply is running dry, and for whatever reason it got very expensive and not so easily findable for me, and the orchids that require the most potting mix are the Phalaenopsis. So I was thinking maybe I can find an alternative potting mix for them, one that does not require sphagnum moss, one that I can find locally and I don't have to pay transport and stuff. And we tried perlite. And today I'm gonna tell you how things are going in perlite. Spoilers, not well. You might be able to say not well at all. I already had two orchids which were in perlite that I switched because, you know, if you think they look bad now, oh, they looked worse. And yeah, this one is still in perlite, and as we can see, no, this is not working out. It's getting dehydrated like nothing else. Now sure, a possible solution would be to water more often. Realistically speaking, it is not a solution. No matter how much I think, yes, sure, I can water every 3 days. I can't. It doesn't work like that. So perlite turned out to be very non-water retentive, very non-water wicking, very evaporative. I don't know, something's up with the perlite. It's just not retaining as much water as I thought it would. It's just not working out, and my orchid is getting dehydrated. Now, side note, the sphagnum moss problem got resolved. As it just so happens, I have the best community on the internet, the best viewers of life, and somehow they always find ways to take care of me when I'm in need. And currently, from one brick of 100 grams, you know, the tiny one, the compressed one, that's all I had. From one brick, I now have 2 bags of sphagnum moss, which obviously will last me at least a year. Because I think I'm gonna go for a mixture of bark and moss for the big orchids at least, even though I prefer full sphagnum moss. Maybe I'm just gonna keep it for the tinier orchids, and for like the big babies like the specimen cattleyas and also the Phalaenopsis, which are in big pots. Yeah, I think I will go for a combination of bark and moss after all, because it's just more economical. 'Tis what it is. But this does not stop us from still making some experiments, because why not? So today we're gonna unpot this orchid from perlite and put it in something else. What? Surprise. You're gonna see. So yeah, before we finish with the intro, I would just like to thank my viewers so much for taking care of me and thinking of me, and I don't deserve it. But I really thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so with that said, let's start the video. So this is a mini Phalaenopsis I purchased pretty recently, and as you can probably tell, it's super majorly dehydrated. Now, I do have roots, and I remember when I potted it, I did have a good root system, although we're gonna see if the roots desiccated inside. There is only the fact that I didn't water it enough. So most likely if I watered this orchid maybe once every 2 days or so, we wouldn't reach here. But then again, watering every 2 days, it's simply not realistic for me. So this potting mix, while it might be good and it might work for some people, it certainly isn't good for me and my lifestyle and my possibilities. So we're gonna change it to, can you guess? Do you recognize what this is? We're gonna change it with some cocoa chips and coconut coir. It's a mixture. I will have to tell you, this is not my favorite either. Or when I tried it like 10 years ago, it wasn't my favorite, but who knows? Maybe I will change my mind now in this environment, and also maybe the products that I'm using now are better than the ones that I used before, because one of the issues with coconut husk is the quantity of salt, which may or may not be present inside. So anyway, enough blabbing, let me get you in closer, and we're gonna proceed to unpotting this orchid, checking the roots. I'm kind of curious to see what's inside here, because at the top I see shrivelly roots, but I do see roots. So I'm hoping I do still have roots. Alrighty, so the hope with these continuous experiments is to actually manage to find something that I can use locally, because I have a ton of phals. I can't help myself. I have a lot of them. And oh brother. Okay, so actually the perlite is semi-moist, but the roots absolutely disliked it. Yeah. Now, it could be a matter of these roots not adapting to the perlite, and maybe new roots that might grow would adapt, but I do actually have a new root here. Do we see it? It's right here. This one is not growing either. Could it be the pH? Maybe. Could it be something chemical involved? It could be. So I think the best thing to do is to just remove it, and I'm not going to continue with it because yeah, I see it's not what I wanted. It's not what works out best for me. So I have to say, sadly, I have a whole lot of dead roots, as we can see, which need removal. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove them. Oh, this one is good. Oh, it doesn't smell good either. Wow, this is not good. All of these roots were actually okay when I potted the orchid. Luckily, I do still have good roots, so we're not gonna have a travesty on our hands here. Let me get rid of this mess and I'll come back when I'm done. Alright, so we're gonna reuse the pot. It is a good size for this orchid, and here is my potting mix. Now, this is one of those bricks. Do I still have one? Alright, so this comes from one of these dried bricks that comes from a pet shop. I keep wanting to say flower shop. And it's not this. It's actually a different brand, which also included cocoa coir. And I don't think it's a bad addition. I actually used this one for a different project at some point, and I have to say this is only coconut husk. It's too dry. It layers, it doesn't work well in this environment. But combined with a little bit of coir, or cocoa peat as they say, it actually works out pretty okay. Just a little bit. It's kind of fine. Not the best, but you know what? In my hot environment, I can get away with it. And I find that it layers less. Now, my only concern is the quantity of salt, because coconut husk, if it's not properly cleaned, you know, it's gonna burn roots. And I had it happen to me many, many years ago. That's why I don't typically use coconut husk. But I'm thinking, hey, maybe the brands are getting better, and you know, if you would put this for reptiles, I'm thinking maybe it shouldn't contain salt, right? So lots of things changed in the past decade, so I am willing to give it another go, and we'll see how it goes. Right. Hey guys, this is Future Danny. I just wanted to intervene a little bit because I just noticed something that I did read before, but it kind of just hit me now. So whenever you see coconut husk products, many of the times you will see the statement that it has low salt content, which is great. But you know what's greater than low salt content? No salt content. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be the case with any coconut husk that specifies anything about the salt. I think I read this on the product that I used as well, that has low salt, which is great. But as you will see in a future video that I will post at some point about coconut husk, it's already filmed, yeah, low salt, it's really not good for fine orchids, or rather fine rooted orchids, sorry. So yeah, the low salt thing, it's real. It's not no salt. That's my problem with it. But let's hope that Phalaenopsis are stronger than Tolumnias are. Don't worry, all shall be revealed, hopefully next week or in 2 weeks. Okay, back to the video. Bye. Now, I have some good news, I will have to tell you. I did see on Amazon from a company that does terrarium and reptile stuff. I did see sphagnum moss. Obviously, I don't know the quality of it. Last time I tried sphagnum moss for reptiles, it was a mess. It was very low quality, broken down after a few months. It was horrifying. It wasn't even fluffy. So that's why I didn't usually use reptile sphagnum moss and stuff, because it's not what is suitable for orchids. But I did see a product that looks like it could be good New Zealand sphagnum moss, at least in the pictures. So I'm willing to give it a go. I'm willing to try it. It's half the price. It's not 20 euros. It's, I think, 9 euros per brick, which, you know, much more affordable than 20 euros per brick, plus 60 euros shipping. Oh my gosh, the amount of money. Hearing me saying it, you know, I'm like, holy moly. Anyway, so I'm willing to try that, but you know, I'm not gonna rely on the fact that it's gonna be a good quality sphagnum moss, because the moss we use for orchids needs to be long lasting, needs to last the amount of water we add to it. It needs to not break down in a few months. Maybe the reptile sphagnum moss. Mind you, I don't know anything about reptiles. Feel free to correct me in the comments. I'm very okay with that. So maybe the sphagnum moss that is for reptiles, maybe it doesn't have to be as wet as we usually wet it when we water our orchids, right? So it could be a bit lower quality and still be okay, maybe. I don't know. But for orchids, it really needs to be high quality, because if you use low quality sphagnum moss and you have to change it every 5-6 months, where's the economy in that? You know, it's gonna end up costing just as much in the end. Problems. So yeah, that's the problem with sphagnum moss. But hey, I'm willing to try cocoa husk as well. If it doesn't work out, I will do my mixture of moss and bark and, you know, drag it as much as I can. I have my Phalaenopsis potted in this mixture for over 3 years and they're still okay, but I'm stretching it. We'll see. But if this works out great, hey, this is available locally at least. One of those bricks was €9 and I can make a decent amount of it, actually. Good for 15 pots maybe. So that's a good deal, right? At least for Phalaenopsis, maybe I can use this cocoa husk. And yeah, this particular brick was just a mixture of the cocoa coir and cocoa husk. Partially good because it retains more water, partially bad because you simply cannot rinse this cocoa husk in case it has salt. You just cannot rinse it. It's soil at this point with chunks of stuff in it. Right, okay, so we are good to go. I'll clean up and do the outro. I'll come back. So that has been it for today. Thank you for listening to my little rant talk. See what I did there? Pet talk, rant talk. Anyway, we'll keep you up to date with this orchid. I'm hoping that now she'll get more hydrated, and I'm hoping this cocoa husk thing works, because it would be a really nice alternative for the multitude of Phalaenopsis that I have. But we'll see. I will definitely let you know. Let me know in the comment section, how is cocoa husk working out for you? And yeah, just tell me about your experience with coconut husk. Right, so with that said, thank you guys so much for watching and bearing with me today. I hope you have a great day. And with that said, I'll see you next time. Bye.